TikTok has a brilliant success story, bringing billions of dollars in revenue. And yet, what it brings to most of its users is extreme anxiety. In this video, I'll be sharing 3 tips to help you unplug and reinvent your relationship with any social media. And 1 secret bonus tip to get the most out of TikTok without deleting it and sacrificing everything. Many of us realize that we might have a problem with social media, right? We are kinda aware of our obsessive behavior, but we don't want to do anything about it. Like with other addictions, we oftentimes simply know that it is a bad thing to do. It is not good for us. It is bad, I know it, we say. But why is it bad? How exactly does it affect us? Only learning what it does to us can we actually understand how to manage it. Unlike other bad habits like smoking and alcohol, social media can have a very positive impact. And that's why it's often so much harder to take control over it. So let me first quickly explain why we're addicted to TikTok, like all the sciencey stuff. TikTok's designers follow the principle known as Hicks Law. The more choices users have, the harder it is for them to make one. For example, when you open TikTok, you see videos playing right away. You don't have to spend a lot of time figuring out what to do because the app figured out everything for you, so that obviously you spend as much time as you can on the app. The main actions like scrolling and liking are designed to be straightforward and very easy to do. This Hicks Law is something that I experienced on my first trip to New York City. So it was in 2020, I was 20 years old, it was my first time in the States, I was in New York City, I was excited, I was scared, and then I went to a supermarket. And then I saw so many different items, so many different products, a lot of different kinds of beans and pasta and sauces and chips, and I was overwhelmed. I was like, what am I supposed to do? And you know what I started doing? I started crying. I was so overwhelmed. There were so many different things to choose from and I didn't actually know what I wanted. And that's exactly something that TikTok doesn't want you to experience. That's why everything is super simple. You open the app, immediately you see a bunch of videos and you start scrolling. Simple and effective. Similarly to casinos, TikTok follows another principle called near wins. Every time you scroll to see a new video, you have no idea what it's going to be. And this is something that makes it exciting. Of course you want to see because you're hoping that the next video is going to be more interesting, that the next video is going to be funnier, that the next video is going to be the one you're going to send to your friend. The app knows how to keep us playing. Colors, bright lights, sound effects, and engagement. It's not just the endless content that hooks us. It's the entire experience of the app's design that makes it so easy to continue coming back.
You're just sort of, and we've all been there, you're scrolling, you're like, why am I doing this? This isn't that interesting. This isn't that interesting.
The algorithm of TikTok is crazy too, because it analyzes everything you do. The more you scroll, the more you interact with certain content, the more relevant videos you will see. So this way, you will stay on the platform for longer. Your brain is getting used to a certain dose of excitement and pleasure. And that's why every other activity you pick up seems so boring and requires more time to actually create this state of excitement. So good, we know all of that, and what do we do now? Let's see what we can do about it. Quit or detox. All right, so quitting is great as long as you have a plan. You know what you'll be doing in those moments when you just wanna grab your phone. Like every single time your hands touch your phone because you wanna be on TikTok, you remind yourself, oh no, I quit. I deleted the app. So what should I do now? I think for some people, quitting might not be an option, and we're gonna talk about it later in the video. What I can say is I highly recommend spending at least 1 day a week without social media. If it's hard for you, just delete the app. Just delete the app and that's it. It's so simple. Just delete it for 24 hours, forget about it, and move on. Think of it as an experiment. You're doing it for you. You already know what happens when you doom scroll. You don't feel great. but you kind of don't know what happens when you don't spend so much time on TikTok. How does it make you feel? What new thoughts are appearing? How do you react? How do you treat people around you? What changes do you see in your environment? If you never tried detox, I'll give you a little spoiler. You'll become less anxious, more present, and equally happy. Honestly, maybe even more happy. No emotional roller coasters.
I tried to go back onto TikTok and I saw a post that really triggered me and just sent me into a spiral. So I was like, absolutely not. Literally the moment I got on TikTok, I was triggered. So I just deleted it again.
Experiencing this peaceful, balanced state is something that you're gonna wanna come back to. And that's why right now we see so many people online saying that I stopped using social media completely, or I never even had TikTok, because for me, it was just a waste of time. If instead of TikTok, you do puzzles, let's say, you're creating this healthy addiction, if I can even call it that. You'll be caught up in reading or getting high on sports because you just love doing tennis or soccer or basketball. And this urge to go on TikTok will gradually disappear. You forgot you can manage it. Learn how to use TikTok properly and what it offers. It might sound so obvious, but I bet not many of you actually do that. Use TikTok like Google search. And that's exactly how I use this app. I'm gonna share something personal right now and tell you that for me, this constant scrolling is extremely addictive. I really don't like that. I understand that it negatively impacts my mood, my productivity, just everything in my life. So I still have TikTok. Yes, I do, because I'm a creator and also because I use it like Google search. There is a field search on the app, right? So instead of mindlessly scrolling, ask yourself what it is you want to learn. Or maybe you want to buy something and want to see a product review. I'm going on a trip soon and my flight is going to be 15 hours long. So I use TikTok to find some tips on how to prepare for a long-haul flight. Another example is my sister really likes this one particular perfume and she asked me if I could bring it to her. And I realized that the perfume she had was actually a dupe of a very famous brand. And I learned all of that on TikTok. And I also learned that the brand that she actually wanted, like the real one, was the one that Rihanna uses. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. I never actually knew that. So when I use TikTok this way, it becomes educational. I have a problem, I use TikTok, I get my solution, and I stop using the app. We'll talk about it later as well, but basically you want to use social media as a tool because it can become a very effective tool. Nobody denies the fact that you can learn so many useful life hacks on TikTok. But unfortunately, so many people deny just how much time we waste on TikTok. This app is all about discovery, and the algorithm works like a speedy matchmaker, discovering things for you that you didn't even realize you wanted to see. So help the algorithm move you in the right direction by telling it what you need, instead of constantly relying on what it tells you you need. First of all, you can dislike any video on TikTok that triggers you or just seems meaningless. You do that by long tapping on the video and selecting not interested in the menu. You can actually do the same thing on YouTube. If you feel like the Swan channel keeps popping up and you don't like their videos, just click not interesting, like don't recommend me those videos ever again. And it's going to stop doing that. You can switch between seeing the videos that belong to the users you follow and those videos that TikTok curated for you, basically the algorithm. The idea is spending as little time as possible on the For You page because that's the place that is most addicting. You just scroll, 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 and it's never ending. The app also allows you to add keywords and hashtags you'd like to filter. You can add up to 100 keywords. TikTok's team is so aware that they make people addicted that they have this digital well-being option. If you're not a child, you're an adult, it still doesn't mean that it's okay for you to see potentially inappropriate content. So you can just switch on restricted mode. You can set a timer, you can install a block app, whatever it is, whatever works for you. When you see how much time you spend on TikTok, you will start understanding how much time you actually waste on TikTok. And maybe it will motivate you to stop using this app that often. Something a little bit more extreme is trying grayscale on your phone because we love colors. And obviously on TikTok, there's so many different colors, sounds effects, and all of that. If everything is gray, like black and white, you will be like, I don't know if I want to watch that. If you don't want to do that, you can also dim the color saturation on your phone. Remove triggers and notifications, because this will help you stay focused when you're using your phone. If you have notifications turned on for TikTok, you will see so many. And also, you can just remove the app from your main screen. Instead of having TikTok on your main screen, just have it somewhere really far away. And on your homepage, have good apps like meditation or maybe reading, so that every time you open your phone, you see something that will inspire you to actually do something good for your body instead of wasting your time, your energy, and your life. Cut out unrealistic and unrelatable accounts. Look through all the accounts you follow right now and observe them. How do they make you feel? Does it make you feel bad and constantly triggered? Unfollow. Does it make you take action because it inspired you? Then leave it. Think about the value it brings you. I feel like sometimes we can't even answer why we follow certain people. We just do, maybe because they are a popular person, maybe because our friend follows the same person and we just want to follow the same person too. But do you actually want to follow that person? Is this person teaching you something valuable? I always do this digital declutter every single year, and I unfollow so many people. I organize everything on my phone. I make sure that the feed I see is actually something that I want to see. It's not something that the app curated for me. Replace. You can transition away from TikTok by replacing it with something that is beneficial for you. Do it gradually. You can still be very engaged by, let's say, language learning apps or books or meditations or the news. TikTok isn't a bad thing if you don't overuse it. The problem is a lot of people do. A lot of people overuse this app and they just don't know how to stop. So try to do something that makes you excited and hyped. Something that is as fun as TikTok. When you think about yourself and your life, I think you don't want to be that person who just spends their whole day, their whole life on TikTok. You want to pursue some other hobbies. You want to do so many different things. You want to be an interesting person. And believe me, scrolling mindlessly on TikTok will not make you an interesting person.
Life is about balance. If you're on TikTok, you have the responsibility to limit yourself. You need to go take breaks and sometimes just touch grass.
From a consumer to a creator. As a consumer, as someone who uses TikTok to watch videos, you experience this one side of the app. And you will always have to be responsible and manage your usage with all the things I talked about before. I'm pretty sure there's so many things you love doing that you can share with the world. So maybe you can start making your own TikTok videos. And instead of just thinking of it, oh, let me just make 100 silly videos, I'm not actually gonna work on them, I'm just gonna post something just because I wanna use TikTok, try to approach it in a more serious way. Think of it as a challenge. Can you actually increase your audience? Maybe you can start selling your product or your service or work with brands. We always have the beautiful part of us that can be beneficial and inspiring, thought and action provoking. If you're really passionate about TikTok, you can even make TikTok your big project. Let's say I want to make TikTok my work. I want to create videos, attract clients, and share my beautiful ideas. This will help you look at this platform as a tool, and plus you're going to be spending so much time researching how to actually make good quality TikToks, how to grow on TikTok, that you will have less time actually doom scrolling and doing nothing and just getting triggered all the time on TikTok. Like with everything that you do, it is so important to know your why. Why are you using TikTok? Write it down and look at it. Is it something that's gonna help you, or is it something that actually makes you feel worse? In reality, TikTok can help you reach a broader audience faster than any social media. The trick is you have to know how to do it. But fortunately, right now there are so many videos on YouTube, so many videos on TikTok, so many courses you can take to learn more about the platform and how to actually leverage it as a creator. I would say that for me, I was never super serious about TikTok, and I have 1 million people following my account there. I think if I were a lot more intentional and serious, if I actually researched a lot of different things specifically about TikTok, my audience would have been so much bigger. And it's crazy how fast growing this platform is. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. If you want to watch a video on how I organize my phone for digital minimalism, make sure to check out this video right here. Just click here and I'll see you there.